Okay, take 942, y'all. Samantha's been trying to come live for over an hour and a half. I have. I'm fixing to knock hard. It went live for about 2 or so minutes earlier, 2 or 3 times. And then it pops up and says, can't go live. So, I'm trying to make sure it's going to stay before I start rambling on and have to repeat myself again. Y'all, I am Samantha. I am frustrated Samantha. Sam, I am. Bella Wreath Designs. Welcome. I see one eyeball up there. Thank you, because that means I'm actually live this time. Oh! Can anything be simple? No. I'm so sorry. It would not let me go live. It would for a minute or two, and then it says, can't go live. Error. Why not? Okay. Now, since I see somebody, let me see if I can get me on the computer. Hang the line, y'all. Well, my door don't want to stay shut. Let me reload the page. Let me reload the page. Reload. Okay. Trying to make the door stay shut. Hey, y'all. If it can be difficult, there I am. I see me there. That's a good sign. Welcome. Welcome. Okay. So, what we're going to do, and then I'm going to have to go eat because I'm starving now. Because I wanted just to come on, do the sign, show y'all how and what I did, should have done. But the thing is this is what happened. We cut out our letters. I have a silhouette, cricket, whatever. I have a silhouette. So, not hard, but not like you're the police. All right. So, I think what happened, it looks great, although I have sanded it a little bit, so now it's got like a hazy look here and there. But if I keep sanding, I get into my letter. So, let me hold it up there a second where you can see where some of the P is gone. Okay? But I think my resin must have got up under the letters and raised them. And so it's kind of got like the bumpity bump. So I started sanding, but if I keep sanding, I'm going to sand my letters away. You can see a little bit of the H. And I have no live up here where I can see what I'm doing, so I can see what y'all see, or if you can see it, I don't know. Y'all, it's just frustrating. It is so difficult some days. Some days are so difficult. All right, let me get to my... Where am I at? Who am I? I don't know. I want to see if I can see comments or not. Okay, let me cut this down. Turn down. Down. Down, 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 down. Y'all say hey if you have. I don't know. Welcome. Y'all, well, okay, what I was trying to do, and I did do it when I was at the Dollar Tree on my phone. I don't know if it can on this one. I think I set it up where you could. Nowadays, even if you're live, and you're live if you see the red live up there. If you don't see the red live, you're on replay. Type in replay. Do all the things. You can fast forward, back up, pause, whatever you want to do, which you can now do on live too. So if you hit the screen and it shows the red line, shows you I'm live, but there's a line that goes across. And then you can take and drag that line backwards and start over at the very beginning. You can do that if you're on an Android. You cannot do that on Apple, that I know. It just started that I found out yesterday. I'm like, really? So I had to go grab all my phones because this is my Android that I was trying to go live on and it wouldn't let me. Why? I don't know. I do not know. So anyway, welcome. But we're going to work on the sign, but I am going to take my spray paint. My dog will come busting in. I did shake it earlier, but let's reshake it because I'm going to spray it into the lid. I'm going to fix my letters. I'm going to let it dry half a second. And then we're going to remix our epoxy, and I'm going to show y'all how to pour it better. Also, I taped off the back with just like painter's tape, you know, masking tape. That way, when I go over this here in a minute with the epoxy again, I try to get most of the excess off, but I'm not desperately worried. When this dries, I'm probably going to go over the back with the epoxy because I did spill a little bit on the back where it run over behind it. But, you know, it's a learning curve because I've not done this but one time, and that was in a bowl of a heart shape, y'all. So, I don't know. But anyway, so I wanted to show you what I did, what I should have done, what I didn't know to do. So, you know, because I want to do some more signs like this. I don't know. Okay, so. I don't know. Oh. Okay. I know. Oh. There I am. Looking all so happy. Be sure to hit the like, love, heart, something down there at the bottom. Say hey. Tell me who you are. Say, if you're new, let me, say hey and tell me where you're from. I'd love to know where y'all are from. Okay. So I took an old paintbrush and I just cut all the fuzzy off of it where it'd be really short because I'm going to use it to put my spray paint back onto my letters. I'm trying to aim y'all down a little bit. There you go. So y'all can see what I'm doing. And because y'all, I like to know what to do and all the things and, Google and YouTube and, yeah, that's how we answer those questions. So anyway, I don't want to get it all over my cutting mat. My fan's on a little high. I'm going to take my cutting mat out of here. I did find my old cutting mat as I was cleaning up the other day. I was like, oh, well, there it is. It's behind my shelf back there. Y'all, it's took some stuff. It took some mighty tough days. Okay, so, like I said, I've sanded, and then I actually got into the letter. See, some of the P is missing. So, I'm going to spray some of my spray paint into the lid, and then I'm going to take my paintbrush, and I'm going to just dot it, so it'll close that white back in. Same thing where I messed up. Just it's not so noticeable, but it does have the bumpy bump. And I know that's because it had to get up under my letters because my letters is what's being sanded, not the epoxy itself. So it's still bumpity. It may still remain that way. But since I've scratched it, then I'm going to fix that. And then I'm going to re-epoxy, hopefully. Okay, so let me just barely touch up because this has got to dry just a little bit. And if you have any questions, let me know. I mean, not that I have all the answers because I don't, but I might because I've Googled the things and I've, epoxy is something new to me. And I know some of y'all had not done it either. And, so you can't learn if you don't ask or if you, can't know all the things. Just can't know all the things. Try. Learn something every day. And like I said, even if you're on replay, hey, Brooklyn in the house. How are you, girl? I was on somewhere earlier today, yesterday, last night. I seen you. I think it was a replay, though. I don't think I've been on any lives. I was watching some. Oh, it was, I think. May have been, I'm sorry, I'm trying to concentrate. Jackie's Wreath and Things. I think it was you. I know I seen you somewhere. I got just a little bit of tissue because what it did is it just kind of rolled down just a little bit. Although it is drying pretty quick. I don't even think that's going to let me get that off. I'm not worried about it. I ain't worried about it. I just wanted to kind of fill in where I did scratch. And so, because it's not as white as it should be. Because again, I didn't realize that the epoxy had got up under and was raising it. And that's one reason it's got the bloopty bloops. It's kind of bumpy, wavy. So I Googled and looked at YouTube and I come across a really good video that she explains several things that, to help in the future. Who knew? Who knew all the things? Okay. So I'm good. Really want that one little dot right there just to be a little brighter. There we go. Let me bring my P down just a little bit because I've made it a little bit bigger than it should have. I need a little brush or something else, like quick. Don't know. Oh, I did find my I told y'all I had a little cup that you use when you're doing the weeding of your letters. It's right outside of my hall on the top shelf in a little bin. As pretty as you please. Okay, so that's good. My H just a little bit right in there. Maybe one more time. One more time. Now, I could not believe I could not go live earlier. That was frustrating. Very frustrating. And because, y'all, it takes a minute to set up the page. Because you put in, you know, I say what I'm going to do. And then you got to put your little hashtags and the places you're going to share it and blah, 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 blah. And then they got all these new settings. Like I said, if you're on an Android phone, you can go back and watch right now from the very beginning. Which is pretty cool. It'll be on Apple phones before long. I mean, you know, they're not going to... I can't imagine them not doing both, you know, eventually. But anyway, I was shocked. I was like, really? So I went and grabbed my phones, and I was like, well, that's just cool. I don't know how commenting, so like if you was to go right now and back up to the beginning, I guess when you comment, it's gonna be, you're gonna be asking like stuff from then, and I'm gonna be really confused going, I don't know what she's talking about. I don't know, you know. Because y'all know I don't even know what you're talking about when you do ask a question right here and there, you know. I know most of y'all was waiting on me to go live. I went live at Dollar Tree for a half a minute because I went and got my cups to mix my epoxy in. And my Dollar Tree was so packed the other day. I guess over the weekend, everybody went in there and bought everything because they didn't have a lot today like they did the other day. So I'm assuming, yes, I'm going to assume. Now, some of that may not be as bright because obviously there's epoxy on top of it. Okay, so I'm good. Let's just move on. I just wanted to make sure that the P was covered. And I'm going to let my paint dry in my lid a little bit before I... And I use paintbrushes all the time. I thought my phone went off again. I was like, oh my gravy. I don't know why I just looked up and I was like... Alright, so let me just stick that there. Now... what I'm going to do is we're going to mix up like we did the other day. I went to the Dollar Tree and got these little cups so I couldn't find just like the little bathroom things. These are actually holiday. Then there's blue ones with some stars on it. Well, okay, whatever. Alright, so I need to keep this from turning. I want to put it on something stable so when I move it, one, it's not, which I didn't, like when I went in there and sat it down in the living room, it just sat flat. But that is one thing you want to make sure of, just in case, because I didn't really think about that, but I mean, it makes sense. But you want to make sure your surface is flat, and that, so when it dries, it's not all, you know, slanting and rolling down the opposite way. Just FYI. Okay, and I'm going to put on my gloves because I like the way this one lady, well, a couple of ladies did it. But, especially with a bigger surface, too. And because I know where the bumpy bumps are, I also want to go over my edging a little bit and smudge, you know, kind of like roll it under. But like I said, I do have masking tape on the back. That'll probably be a challenge later too, but I'm hoping not. Really, ooh, I do need to redo that little piece right there at the top because that's definitely around the main edges. It's the biggest thing, but my question or thought is now, that's great. I just tore up my glove. Oh, don't do that one too. Seriously? Good gravy. Can anything be simple? No. Y'all, if it will, it can, and it just will. My gravy. Oh, I'm scared to touch it. Hold on. I can't believe that just literally tore my glove up. But yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. Okay, so, and then I took my knife and I just cut around it because obviously I don't want the stuff running up under. Like, you know, it rolled on the back a little bit, but it wasn't like horrid. You know, it just had really one spot that it went kind of down onto the picture on the back. And you know, it's the USA sign on the back. Okay. So that glove away and get out another one. Well, okay. Okay. I do have my little leveler thing that I had yesterday, but I like the idea of being able to roll. I'm glad I did that because one, I want to make sure that paint's dry, which it is. And I didn't take my heat gun to it yesterday. And I may or the day before. But I may should have. I don't know what day I did it, y'all. I'm so sorry. Look. I didn't go live yesterday. Yesterday was Sunday. Okay, so anyway. I should have. I just got to feeling bad. I don't know. I have got to go to the doctor. Okay, so we're going to do A and B. I'm going to do 1 little cup of each. You got to have equal measures. Now, I didn't realize. Every epoxy may be made a little differently, but I'm going to measure to the bottom line in my cup. So just use or put you a dot, you know, and because I'm using the same cup for A and B. I don't care, but I'm gonna. Maybe I won't go that far. Maybe I won't. Yeah, I will. Just a little bit more. All right, because the other day when we did this, it was plenty. All right, so I'm going to take a Sharpie, if I can. Maybe I will. I don't know. I'm going to have a little dot. Uh-huh. Perfect. Right at it. Okay. Because of course, that was a good Sharpie. So, I am right there at that line on my dot, so I'm just going to pour this into my big cup. And then I'm going to measure my other in the same little cup. And I did find my big tonsil stick thingy-majigs. Popsicle sticks. I swear, I went through the same box. I'm like, I know I had some. Yeah, I sure did. Here they are. I found them. Okay. Now, that was A. Here comes B. Read your epoxy directions. You should have half and half. You know, half of it, you know, equal parts, A and B. But you could have, yours could be a little different. So do double check your directions, okay? And just be sure. And I didn't realize there was all that differences, but there is. Okay, so anyway. So far, I've only used this one brand. So I will say this one does have a smell. So, okay, so that was B. Make sure, yeah. I wrote my letters on my caps so I would know, because if you stick the wrong cap on the wrong thing, it could glue itself shut. Okay, so we're going to stir this for a minute or two. Whew, to me, this is strong. But, and then it said that sometimes she did one that said you had to stir it for 5 minutes. I'm like, what? Mix 1-to-1. See, mine's on the side of the box. 1-to-1 ratio. Work time, 30 to 40 minutes. So 30 to 40 minutes is when it starts to... Yeah, why not? Why not? Hence, the shirts we used to make. It's a rough ride. Hang on, keep your feet and hands and arms in at all times. I don't know. I don't know. I hope I don't get epoxy on my phone. It looks like it's going to go sliding out again. Holy moly. I don't know. It ain't going to stay. Why? And oh, my gravies. Y'all, it just ain't my day. Let me come over here. Okay, so within 30 to 40 minutes, work time. That's how long I'm just going to get off because I don't know what else to do. I don't know. Let me see. Let me see if I can sit y'all there. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Let me see. I don't know. I don't know. No. Hold on. I don't know what else to do. Okay. Look. Because it's a rough ride. It don't matter. I don't know how long I'm supposed to stir it. Typically a couple of minutes. But when I pour this on, I'm going to then use my heat gun and make sure there are no bubbles, because I'm stirring bubbles in it, of course. You're not supposed to go fast, but what is wrong with my thing up there? Y'all. So, oh dear, dear, dear. If you're trying to watch, thank you so much for being here. Because my phone just slung off the caddy. And I tried to go live for over an hour. And Facebook wouldn't let me, I guess. Because, y'all. Well, okay, so here we go. Let me pour this on here. So what I'm going to do is I can't pick y'all up once I do this. Hold on. Let me see if I can. I'm trying to. I don't know what I'm trying to do. There's no way for me. Let me just do this. I'm going to put y'all back down here, so maybe. Let me see if I can put it right here. I don't know. Maybe. Oh, maybe? Maybe not. Okay, sorta. Yeah, sorta. Yeah, slide the comments out the way. Oh, okay. So I'm going to pour this on top of our sign. Okay. I know it's going to go over the edge. I'm not going to pour all of it just yet. But what I am going to do, of course my ear itches now, is I'm going to use my hand. And the reason for doing it with your hand is you can feel like the rigidity bumps and such. And you can also keep it from going off the edge as bad. That's one reason I put masking tape around the edging. I thought that was a pretty good idea, because I did get some on the other side, but I'm going to go over it. Now, I did sand this a little bit because, like I said, I think the epoxy got up under my sign letters, which is the Silhouette, okay? But I think that when I did that and the epoxy got up under it, it raised my letters, and that's one reason I feel the bumpy bumps, because I went to sand it. And if you do sand your project, it's going to look like you've just ruined it, because I did. I thought, oh my gosh. But then I'm like, okay. When you sand it, you then will wipe it down with some, just a little bit of water, whatever. And then you epoxy it. And once you redo this, then it's going to be shiny again. So that was like, okay, cool. So that's why I'm like, okay, I'm going to redo my sign. And I'm just, I started to sand it where all my rigidity bumps were, which is right here where it says knock hard. And now I can feel that is smooth right there with my hand. With my stick, I could not feel that. You know what I mean? Like the other day when I used the little stick and I was going back and forth, I couldn't feel that. So I wasn't sure how my, I couldn't feel that it was raising my letters up, if you will. I can't even see. Okay. Alright, so I'm going around my edging, and like I said, I got masking tape, but I want to come down, and I do want it to be on the edge, but I don't want it to run under my edging. And I've got it on my turntable, so I can take turntable and all and just set it. Also, depending on your project, you might find a hair or some dust, or one lady found a fly. Well, you got to sand it out and start again. So, just be careful with, don't be cleaning or anything. Make sure if you did that you let all that settle before you do anything like this. Okay, so now I can see, and I'm trying to make sure I've got it even, and it feels it. I don't feel no ridges, and you can't see it like I could feel it. Okay, so now I'm going to take this off. I'm going to throw that one away. Let's see, do I have it on this hand? A little bit, so let me go ahead and take this off. Now, I have my heat gun, and I am going to take it. Now, some people use a torch. I don't do torches. So, I just have a heat gun, and you don't want to apply it too long. But what you are trying to do is to get out any air bubbles that we mixed in, and or hair bubbles, good gravy. Air bubbles, or you might have bubbles that you know, mixed in there when you were stirring it. But this will get rid of any bubbles and air pockets that you may have. Just do it kind of quick. You don't want to do it for too long. But go over it, and it does pop any you may have. Okay. And that is it. I'm not going to overdo it. I think it looks great from here, from the eye of it. I do see where it's going off my edging a little bit. I'm just going to scrape up under it just real quick. And this is just a little piece of cardboard that I've got duct tape on that I use for actually measuring my ribbons. But those days are over. Ooh, y'all know I was talking a long time ago. Sally, I know she ain't on here probably, I'm sure. But anyway, I do have, okay, so that looks great. I'm very, very happy. I think it looks good. Let me leave my little sign, my board. Ooh, gosh. I am trying, oh, that looks smooth. That looks so smooth. I pray it does, and it sets like that. Let me flip y'all and show y'all. Thank y'all for being on here. Hey, lady. All right, so let me flip you. Because if y'all watched me the other day, then you've seen. But let me show y'all. Well, let me fix this. I'm sorry, my phone camera thingamajig. Y'all just went flying out of it a while ago. Let me see if I can get y'all down there. Look, it looks smooth. You don't see nothing but a clear, flat surface. And it really, the glove, doing that with the glove, I really think that's going to look so much better. All right, so let me set it back down here on this turntable. Okay. All right, so let me leave it because you want it to stay flat. You don't want to be moving it. One, I don't want to stir up no dust. But I am so sorry that my phone caddy's messed up. Thank y'all for being on here. If you didn't get to see the beginning, this is a very short live because Facebook wouldn't let me go live for an hour and a half-ish for real. Oh, y'all, it's so aggravating. But that's going to look so good. Like I said, if you just jumped on, the letters, I think my epoxy had got under it, and they were rippety, like wavy. And so when I went to sand it, I sanded some of my letter, which I did try to fix the P. It's not perfect, but hey, nothing is, you know, hey, whatever. But in general, I do like the look better. It looks really good. And when this side dries, it takes a good 12 to 24 hours. And again, it depends how thick you put it. I didn't do it very thick. I just did like I said, I did it like a small cup of each of my A and B, and then mix it up, pour it on. But y'all, I will see y'all hopefully tomorrow. We have a mailbox swag to work on, and we're going to get it did tomorrow. So thank y'all for being here. Sorry for the craziness. See y'all tomorrow. Have a great night. Bye.